Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin correcting, back in the red. How low will she go? We'll be discussing this today. Also be sharing with you the historical Bitcoin price action and the purchasing power of BTC since 2012. We'll also be sharing Bitcoin contributor to Julian Assange's freedom, paying $500,000 for him to get that private jet to return back to Australia. We'll also be discussing spot Bitcoin ETF reverse, the 7-day outflow streak, as well as the Ethereum ETF process is going smoothly, according to the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler. I'm also going to be discussing Nubank bringing the Bitcoin Lightning Network to 100 million Latin American customers, as well as the Bitcoin Rainbow Chart says Bitcoin will reach $250,000 per BTC. I'll be breaking all this down for you. All this, plus so much more, in today's show.
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating. I waited all day, maybe I need a life, but Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JV.
Shout out to the entire crypto fam. Welcome to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. 100K on the way. I dig it, family. But anyways, fam, welcome everyone just joining the stream. If you're new to the channel, important to smash those likes. It helps out tremendously with the algorithm. And also subscribe to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. And if you hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications, is greatly appreciated. Today is pod episode number 1682. I'm your host, JV. It's June 26, 2024, and the markets are correcting once again. Let's kick it off with our market watch. As we do each and every day, you can see the bulk of the market in the red. Bitcoin trading at $60,800, down about 2% on the daily. We have Ether back under 3,400, down 0.5%, along with BNB, Solana, XRP, and Cardano, all correcting and in the red. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $2.27 trillion. We have the Bitcoin market cap at $1.2 trillion. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we got Fetch up 12%. We have Ajax up 11% and Lido DAO up 6.5%. Below that, Cospa, Notcoin, and Avalanche. Now, which particular alts are you most bullish on for this bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective on the daily. Safe to say 95% of the market bleeding and in the red. And zooming out on the monthly for a broader perspective, 95% of the market bleeding worse and in the red. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Today, we're back at a 46 in fear. Yesterday is the lowest. We have seen this in a very long time at a 30. Last week, a 64. Last month, a 74. And I like this metric because the higher this number climbs, the more likely of a pullback, and vice versa. The lower this number goes, the more likely of a pump. So there you have it. But anyways, fam, let's dive into a little Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also look at some of the live charts. This headline reads, Bitcoin price drop below traders' cost basis. Warns of a deeper sell-off. So I'd love to know from your thoughts, family, in the chat, how low do you think we'll go? And do you think the bottom is in? Let me know. So yeah, the Bitcoin price experienced mounting sell-side pressure, causing it to shed more than 5.5% over the past week and setting a 6-week low of 58.4 on June 25th. During the sell-off, Bitcoin dropped below the short-term cost basis, risking a deeper correction, according to Glassnode, quoting their week on-chain report. Since mid-June, the spot price has plunged below the cost basis on both the 1 week and 1 month hodlers at 68.5 and the 1 month, 3 month hodlers at 66,400. If this structure persists, it has historically resulted in a deterioration of investor confidence and risk this correction being deeper and taking longer to recover from. Now, the Bitcoin short-term hodler cost basis, or the realized price, is the metrics which represents the average acquisition price of Bitcoin for investors who are considered short-term hodlers, typically defined by the movement of the coins that have been held for less than 155 days. And looking at Bit into Coin, it reveals that Bitcoin's breach of the 64 level on June 23rd saw it fall below the short-term hodler realized price at the time, which was $64,591, as outlined here in the chart. In addition, the latest drawdown was inches away from pulling the price below the cost basis of the 3 to 6 month hodlers at 57.3, which remains on the rise even as the price falls. The report also highlights the cost basis of the 1 week to 1 month hodlers has plunged below the 1 month to 3 month cost basis, signaling a diminishing return of momentum in the demand side and a net capital outflow from the asset. Quoting them here, during the previous bull markets, a negative capital flow structure has occurred up to 5 times. We can also see this structure has been in place since May and into early June. Meanwhile, on June 25th, 11 of the US-based spot Bitcoin ETFs saw minor inflows totaling 31 million, ending a 7-day streak of outflows. Data from SoSo Value revealed June 25th Fidelity's ETF FBTC led net inflows with 49 million, followed by the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF BitB with 15 million, and then Van Eck with 4 million in net inflows. On the other hand, Grayscale's ETF GBTC had a single day outflow of 30 million, while the ARK21 Shares Bitcoin ETF reported 6 million of outflows. And as of June 25th, those 11 spot Bitcoin ETF funds began trading, which we know January 11th, so we're approaching the 6-month mark, and they have now seen inflows of almost 15 billion with more than 53 assets under management, and I guess it's now referring to 53 billion in assets under management. The massive outflows of the spot Bitcoin ETFs witnessed over the last few weeks are the highest since April, when they posted total net outflows exceeding 1.2 billion between April 24th and the beginning of May. Now I want to share the power of Bitcoin purchasing power, because one thing I always share with you, everything I share in this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. I do not give financial advice, but one thing I can guarantee you is the purchasing power of Bitcoin is mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power versus the dollar. Here's an example. Shout out Joe Burnett for sharing this. The medium new U.S. home price in Bitcoin. In 2012, it was 50,616 Bitcoin. 2013, 19,000 Bitcoin. 2014, 351 Bitcoin. 2015, 900 Bitcoin. 2016, 700 Bitcoin. 2017, 323 Bitcoin. 2018, 24 Bitcoin. 2019, 84 Bitcoin. 2020, 46 Bitcoin. 2021, 10 Bitcoin. 2022, the year JV purchased this house, 20 Bitcoin. I paid more than 20 to pay off the loan, just FYI. 2023, 14 BTC. And in 2024 this year, only 7 BTC. Do you notice the trend? And it'll be the polar opposite when looking at US dollars. You'll notice over the past decade, every year it becomes more expensive in US dollars to purchase a property. And then you noticed the polar opposite with Bitcoin, hence Bitcoin being the king. There will be a day where you can purchase the median US home here in the United States for 1 Bitcoin, and eventually a half a Bitcoin, and eventually a quarter of a Bitcoin, and eventually 0.1 Bitcoin, and eventually 0.001 Bitcoin. Wait for it, family. So you already know. And I think this speaks volumes. So pretty good stuff. Let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss the latest with Julian Assange. And I'm very happy to get this news that he has finally been released from prison. The headline reads, Bitcoiner contributes to Julian Assange's freedom, paying $500,000 debt in BTC. That's right. WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange is free after the 14-year battle against extradition to the U.S. in a final effort to secure his freedom. An anonymous Bitcoiner donated over 8 Bitcoin worth $500,000 to help Assange's family to pay off the debt incurred by his travel and settlement expenses. June 24th, he was released from the high-security Belmarsh prison in the UK after reaching a plea agreement with U.S. authorities. Shortly after his release, he departed the UK on a private plane from a London airport to Saipan in the northern Mariana Islands, a U.S. territory. He appeared in the District Court of Saipan on June 26, which is today, where he pleaded guilty to one charge of breaching the U.S. Espionage Act by leaking classified documents. The journey was planned to prevent Assange from touching foot on American soil. In the interview, Stella Assange, his wife, stated freedom comes at a cost. It is required to pay $520,000 to the Australian government for the forced chartering of flight VJ199 to travel to Saipan in Australia. Stella started a crowdfunding page to help the jailed founder with his debts after his return home to Australia, as she shared here, and clearly just one person was able to do that and be able to pay for that for over $500,000. Some are speculating it was Jack Dorsey. Let me know if you saw that story. The donation link was posted by Stella on June 25th, and within 10 hours, an anonymous Bitcoiner paid over 8 Bitcoin to the fund. You gotta love Bitcoiners, family. Almost clearing the goal of $520,000, he also received over 300,000 British pounds in fiat donations thus far. The single Bitcoin donation was the largest donation to the fund, more than all the other donations and all the currencies combined. And as a result, Assange will arrive in Australia debt-free. Amen to that. Now, at his court appearance today, Judge Ramona Maglona, what a name that is, Ramona Maglona, sentenced him to 5 years and 2 months in prison for pleading guilty to espionage charges. However, he already served the exact amount of prison time in the UK while fighting extradition. As a result, he walked from the courtroom a free man. We finally got this man free. It feels like an eternity, but you know what? This is one of the biggest celebrations for me. This is a pretty big deal. Now we need to pardon and free Ross Ulbricht, because it really gets under my nerves when you see freedom fighters who risk their own lives to help humanity, and then they get in prison because we have a corrupt government. You know what I mean? Now, they took that private flight and arrived in Canberra, Australia. That was at 9:39 a.m. UTC. Assange argued that the Espionage Act under which he was charged conflicted with the First Amendment rights of the U.S. Constitution. However, he acknowledged that encouraging sources to provide classified information for publication could be illegal. As part of the plea deal, he was required to destroy all classified information provided to WikiLeaks. So there you go, crypto fam. Now let's discuss these Bitcoin ETFs. Headline reads, Spot Bitcoin ETFs reserve 7-day outflow streak. That's right. After a week of the net outflows, US-based spot Bitcoin ETFs saw a reversal June 25th, with net inflows reaching 31 milli. Data from SoSo Value indicated a reversal from the past 7 consecutive trading days, which saw 1.1 billion in total outflows from the spot Bitcoin ETFs. The data shows Fidelity's Wise Bitcoin Origin led the net inflows Tuesday with 49 million, followed by BitB with 15 million, and then the VanEck inflows of 4 million. On the other hand, Grayscale saw net outflows of 30 million, while ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF reported 6 million worth of the outflows, according to the data here from Farside. Now, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT, the biggest fund by assets under management, saw no inflows on June 25th. The same was true for ETFs from Invesco, Valkyrie, and Franklin Templeton. And as of the 25th, the 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs debuted in January have a total net inflows of 14.4 billion. And following a soft approval of the spot Ether ETFs by the US SEC in May, prospective US issuers continue to finalize their registrations prior to launch. And I'll be diving a little deeper into this in our next story. But yeah, it's been kind of slow from the institutional standpoint, from the institutional FOMO, but maybe we'll resume here with massive inflows.
I can't wait till the Fed starts showing its love. The full flag on the chart got me blowing a nut. Do your thing, let me do my
Shorters pumping it up. But anyways, next story of the day, we discussed the Bitcoin ETFs. Now let's dive a little deeper into the Ethereum ETFs, which is supposed to launch here soon. Headline reads, Ethereum ETF process is going smoothly, as smooth as Gary Gensler's bald head. How do you like those apples, Gary? The process of launching the first spot Ether ETFs in the U.S. is going smoothly, says Chairman of the SEC, Mr. No Hair Gare. Speaking at the June 25th Bloomberg conference, Gensler remained tight-lipped on the ETFs and when they could launch, and deferred when asked if they could go live before the November U.S. elections. I mean, he's going to do what he does best. No Claire Gare, quoting him here. It is really about the asset managers making the full disclosure so that those registration statements can go effective, he said. What is in front of us, and it is done at a staff level, is what's called the registration statements, the disclosure statements, he added. Again, these disclosures are really important. They are important to investors making investment decisions. The SEC approved the 19B4 filings from the 8 ETF bidders on May 23rd, but the asset managers are still tweaking their Form S1s. The final filings the SEC needs to approve before they go live for trading. Some of the analysts predicted the SEC could approve the funds for trading as soon as the first week of July. That's right, I heard the second, right before Independence Day, family. Let me know if you agree with that. That's according to Eric Balchunas and some of the top ETF analysts. Now, nothing inconsistent about security laws. And did you know security laws are biblical, as per Michael Saylor? That's one of the quotes we typically play here. He says, security laws are biblical. The U.S. Crypto industry has raised millions and lobbied to make digital assets an election issue after facing a deluge of enforcement actions from the Gensler-led SEC. President Trump said he would end what called President Biden's war on crypto, and billionaire investor Mark Cuban claimed Gensler could literally cost Joe Biden the election. And ironic enough, yes, Mark Cuban is voting for Biden, and according to his tweets that I read, which is mind-boggling to me, but he always ultimately, just like Scaramucci, he always rags on Trump and is like pro-Biden. Gensler said he doesn't speak on elections when asked about Trump and Cuban's comments, quoting him here. We have a set rules that are pretty clear. There is nothing inconsistent about crypto securities and security laws. Unfortunately, there's a number of people that are non-compliant with the laws. Those hucksters, fraudsters, those flim-flam artists, as he says. Gensler claimed up to 200 or 20,000 crypto tokens are investment contracts, which are securities under U.S. law. They do not give proper disclosure to American investors. This is a field that is the leading lights for a couple of the years ago are either in jail, about to go to jail, or awaiting extradition. He said, I mean, that's his job. He'll lock up virtually everyone involved in crypto, for Christ's sake, stifle innovation, right? Now, we're bringing that in front of the courts, and those will play out because the folks that are not complying with the law hurt the American public, he added. Well, I like to believe that Bankman-Fried and FTX and Terra Luna definitely harmed the American public, and Gary did nothing to stop it. In fact, that all occurred on his watch. So just to put things into perspective. And on X, Ripple CEO Garlinghouse slammed Gensler's comments as absolute nonsense, claiming the SEC boss completely missed my sentiment exactly. He completely missed FTX, and he was probably complicit in the corruption because he met with Bankman-Fried multiple times, as on record. Gensler will cause Biden to lose the election. So there you go, yo. Headline reads, Nubank brings Bitcoin Lightning to 100 million Latin American customers. Let's go. Brazilian neobank Nubank partnered with the payment platform Lightspark to offer Bitcoin Lightning Network to its 100 million customers in Latin America. Lightspark said June 25th it's working with Nubank to start the Lightning integration, mapping and building potential products, and would have more to share in the future. Lightspark will also integrate the Universal Money Address Standard, a payment system built on top of the Lightning that gives users an email-like address to transfer money. Let's go. Nubank's crypto's executive director, Thomas Forte, said in a statement, the integration is part of the neobank plan to offer higher speed, low-cost transfers via the blockchain. Now, my question for the chat, how many of you have used the Bitcoin Lightning Network and prefer to use it? One of the benefits being a layer 2 scaling solution, you can send transactions virtually for free. Very, very inexpensive and very fast. That's what they use in El Salvador and a lot of places where there's mass Bitcoin adoption. Lightspark has been building the Lightning Network infrastructure for enterprises since it was co-launched back in 2022 by former PayPal president David Marcus. Lightspark said Nubank integration was a significant milestone for the Lightning Network, as it would dramatically impact the overall network usage at a time when it's most needed. And Nubank is backed by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. Wow, didn't know that. And it allows trading of 14 cryptos, partnered with stablecoin issuer Circle to expand access to the USD coin, which I'm not a fan of, just FYI. In November of 2023, its crypto services were launched in May 2022, coinciding with the announcement it would allocate 1% of its net assets into the biddy. Now, around 92 million of Nubank's customers are based in Brazil. Brazil has a massive population. Correct me if I'm wrong, fam. I think it is the largest population in South America. Probably, I would speculate 300 million people, because someone looked that up for me, with the remaining 8 million mostly based in Mexico and Colombia. Most crypto trading volume is facilitated in Brazilian real trading pairs, followed by the Mexican, Argentine, and Colombian pesos, according to Kaiko Research. So there you have it. Now for our featured story of the day. Bitcoin Rainbow Chart says Bitcoin will reach 250,000 per Bitcoin. But will this prediction come true? Let's discuss it. And I'm going to show you the chart right here. And in the flesh. Welcome, everyone, just joining the stream as well. Good to see you guys here. So as you know, while short-term price action shows bearishness, the higher time frame price trend is strongly bullish. In the past 6 months, measured from late January, we showed lows of 38,500. So keep that in mind, family. We have come a long way since the beginning of this year. Bitcoin has literally gained close to 55%. And the current all-time high of 73.8 we reached mid-March. It has set a higher low at 56.5, marking it as the critical support level for buyers to defend. In the coming weeks, we'll see if 60,000 holds up, family. The Bitcoin Rainbow Chart showed it is still a great time to buy the biddies. This chart represented Bitcoin's price movement on a logarithmic scale and can be useful for the investors to predict the potential Bitcoin cycle tops. So gauging the cycle top from the Bitcoin Rainbow Chart. This is brought to you by Blockchain Center. Check it. The multicolor chart highlights different zones from Bitcoin is dead to maximum bubble territory. And at press time, Bitcoin was in the rather aggressively buy mark zone. You can say that again. You can see in this chart, it shows you the maximum bubble territory in the red. Then you can see the sell seriously sell, little lighter red, and then the orange FOMO intensifies. Then the darker yellow, is this a bubble? Then the bright yellow hodl. Then the light green still cheap, the dark green accumulate. Then you got the teal buy, and then you have the blue, basically a fire sale, followed by the purple, which means Bitcoin is dead. Now at press time, the chart was confident. There is a long way yet for this cycle's price discovery to continue to stretch. A and B Crypto observed that the past 2 cycle maximums occurred 17 to 18 months after the halving. Extrapolating that to the current cycle, a maximum could be reached in September or October of next year in 2025. That's if history is to rhyme, family. Let me know if you agree. I personally agree that we're likely to hit the cycle peak in 2025 and more than likely around that time as well. I want to know your thoughts. In 2021, Bitcoin was unable to ascend past. Is this a bubble territory? A and B Crypto chose to be more conservative this time, assuming Bitcoin might not cross the hodl territory this time. Even this conservative bet puts Bitcoin at 260,000 with 373,000 being the estimate. Should Bitcoin spill into this, is this a bubble territory? So there you go, even more bullish, 373,000 next year. Send it. So there you have it, something to mark on your calendar. Sell Bitcoin above 250,000 in September of 2025. But of course, this is not an accurate prediction and is based solely on the Bitcoin Rainbow Chart and the previous cycle's halvings and top timings. Noting, this is not investment advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So there you have it, family. Let me know your thoughts surrounding this Bitcoin Rainbow Chart suggesting 250, 370. Holla at your boy. I'm going to read as many of these comments out loud. Let's freaking go. Bone Daddy says, let's freaking go. 373. Bring it, broskies. Welcome to the Q&A segment of the live show. Rainbow Chart was wrong last cycle. It had to be updated. Well, you got the update, family. Same with stock to flow. However, there was a lot of things that occurred in the market which were not anticipated, like unexpected death blow of FTX, in which definitely impacted and stopped our bull run a little early. A lot of experts say if we didn't have Bankman-Fried and FTX and the Terra Luna collapse, we could have easily hit 100,000 off of the retail FOMO from last cycle back in 2021. Let me know your thoughts on that. With JB, game over, April 2025. There you go. What up from your old hometown here again, Pinellas County? That's what's up. I'm in Largo. I used to get my haircuts in Largo. I was repping Clearwater, Florida. Pinellas, let's go. Back to Dunedin. I used to box back in Dunedin when I attended school. That was my high school days, family. Our boxing gym was in Dunedin. I used to go boxing with my friend who was a professional boxer, Boxer Brian. So Dunedin brings back a lot of memories, Doc. Welcome, family. Hashtag FJB. Got to rewind. Let's do it. After the live stream, though, we still going to be streaming for the next hour, fam. So anyone just finding the channel or watching the live stream, whether you're on X, Rumble, or YouTube, be sure to hit the likes, subscribe, and repost this and interact in the chat. We do have a live poll. When Bitcoin 100K? Will it be August, September, October, November, December, January, February, or later? Holla. We'll end this poll here shortly, and I'll read the results for you. At 100K, FOMO will be insane. Insane. I dig it. Killing gold ETF. Bitcoin will go bull like gold did back in the day. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Y'all remember that throwback? I don't even know the name of that artist or that song, but I'm going to assume it was called Back in the Day. I think I remember the video from Yo MTV Raps. I remember he was like balling. He was very short. Anyways, I am hearing Strike is officially launched in the UK. That's a win. Shout out Strike, Jack Maulers. Let's go. UK for the win. Shout out Golden Eagle 99. That's right. That's what we call him, Melda the Gray. You nailed it.
Fiat currency. We call them poor. We call them poor.
Shout out Jesse Oro. What it do, broski? Welcome to the stream. Let's get it. October, 100K. Send it. 225,000 end of the year, says JC. 500 to 750 as a cycle peak. I agree.